What do you think of the Anutin 1 cabinet? Is it wow or yikes? Hello, and welcome to Inside AI Brief. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe. Today, we're diving deep into a really fascinating and honestly quite complex political development in Thailand. We're talking about the brand new Anutin cabinet, just royally endorsed. And the big question everyone's asking is, is it inspiring confidence? Or maybe raising some eyebrows? Our mission today is to cut through all that noise. We'll analyze how it formed, look closely at the key players appointed, and really dissect the political implications. We want to give you a shortcut to understanding what's really going on.
That's exactly right. And this isn't just, any old cabinet shuffle. We're looking at Thailand's 65th government. It stepped in right after the Constitutional Court removed Paetongtarn Shinawatra as prime minister, ending her cabinet's run. What makes this one immediately stand out is, it's led by the Bumja Thai Party, BHT. But here's the thing. It's a coalition government holding only 146 seats out of 491 in the House. That makes it Thailand's first minority government in, 50 years, since the Seni Pramod's second cabinet. So right off the bat, that tells you we're likely looking at a government that's probably short-term, definitely high stakes, and facing some pretty significant built-in challenges.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that. Minority government, that's tough terrain anywhere. So how did this cabinet under Anutin Charnvirakul actually manage to get formed? What were the crucial political moves behind the scenes that put him in the PM's chair?
Well, the landscape after Paetongtarn's removal was incredibly fluid. Things were changing fast. Anutin, the Bumja Thai leader, he secured his position as the 32nd prime minister back on September 5th, 2025. Got 311 votes, which was quite decisive against Pheu-Thai's candidate, Chaikasem Nitisiri. The royal endorsement came through just 2 days later, on the 7th. Now, Bumja Thai, they managed to pull together a coalition. It includes parties like Khatam, Palang Pracharat, United Thai Nation, Thai Sang Thai, the Democrats, New Democracy, and Thai Ruam Jaitu. Quite a mix.
A broad church, then. But that still doesn't quite explain how a minority gets the numbers, does it?
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting. The absolute critical piece was a memorandum of agreement, an MOA, with the People's Party. Now, the People's Party, they supported Anutin becoming prime minister. They gave him the votes. But, and this is key, they explicitly chose not to join the government. They're staying in opposition.
Okay, so they backed him but didn't join him. Why? What were their conditions?
Their support came with two very, very firm conditions, non-negotiable, really. First, the House of Representatives must be dissolved within 4 months after the government delivers its policy statement to Parliament. They're basically forcing a general election, aiming for sometime in 2026. And second, within those same 4 months, there has to be a national referendum on amending the Constitution, specifically leading to a new charter drafting assembly that's entirely elected by the people.
Wow. Okay, so a minority government propped up by an opposition party, which has put a 4-month fuse on its existence, demanding elections and constitutional change. That sounds, less like stable governing and more like walking a tightrope over a canyon.
Right.
How does Anutin even begin to plan or make long-term decisions with that kind of pressure? What does it actually mean for stability day to day?
It means inherent instability, almost built in from day one, especially when you look at the legislative side. Political commentators, people like Theptai Senapong, they immediately flagged this. Concerns about just maintaining a quorum in parliament are huge. Think about it. The government constantly needs cooperation from the opposition just to pass anything, even routine stuff.
Right, just to keep the lights on, basically.
Pretty much. And this short time frame, it's immediately sparked talk of what some are calling an MP market. The rumor mill is churning,
Yeah.
MPs supposedly moving camps like cattle because everyone expects an early election. There's even scuttlebutt about pricing, like grade A MPs going for 80 million baht, grade B for 50 million, grade C for 30 million.
Good grief. That sounds pretty cynical.
It reflects the perceived fragility, doesn't it? And this connects to a broader picture, this idea of the political scene morphing into 3 kingdoms. You've got the red faction, which is Pheu-Thai, the orange faction, the People's Party, and the blue faction, Bumja Thai. The People's Party's move to back BHT, the blue faction, is widely seen as, strategic. It weakens the red faction, Pheu-Thai, because historically, orange and blue don't really align. It's a temporary alliance of convenience.
So the People's Party is using BHT to accelerate its own goals, constitutional change, new elections where they think they have an edge.
That seems to be the calculation. Yes, accelerate the timeline, force the issues they care about. Now, it's worth noting, while the MOA says 4 months, the actual legal processes take time. You've got 45 to 60 days for an election and another 60 days for the election commission to certify results, then potentially 2 months or more to select the next prime minister. So in reality, this Anutin cabinet might actually be in power for closer to 6, maybe even 8 months.
Okay. So a bit more breathing room than that strict 4-month deadline implies.
Yeah.
Still short, but maybe enough time to try and make some kind of mark.
Exactly. A crucial, short window to try and build some public trust, maybe deliver on a few initial promises.
Okay, so if the political foundation is shaky, maybe built on these shifting 3 kingdoms, how is Anutin trying to project competence, especially with his cabinet choices? The media is already having fun with it, calling it the half-and-half cabinet, or comparing it to a showroom. You know, nice display up front, maybe less appealing stuff in the back. Let's dig into the actual appointments. Who are these people?
Yeah, that half-and-half label is pretty spot on, actually. Anutin's government made a very deliberate strategic opening move. They showcased a team of highly regarded outsiders, technocrats, mainly for the key economic and legal jobs. This is clearly their wow factor, designed to build confidence right away.
Okay, like who? Give us some names.
Well, you've got Iknidi Nidhathon Prapas. He's the new Deputy PM for Economic Affairs and Minister of Finance. He used to be Director General of the Treasury Department. Widely praised for tax reforms, e-service tax, carbon tax ideas, and he's seen as having a very clean record. Some even tip him as a future Bank of Thailand governor.
Impressive credentials. Who else?
Then there's Adifol Workpibun, the new Minister of Energy. He's the former CEO of PTT, the state energy giant, credited with pushing PTT towards energy transition, understands the complexities there. That's a big plus. And Supaji Sathamphan, CEO of the Thani Group, a major hospitality company. She's the new Minister of Commerce, really top-tier business leader, known for strategy, finance, tech, but also a humble style. Apparently, Anutin personally negotiated hard to get her on board.
So definitely some heavy hitters from outside traditional politics in key economic roles. What about the legal side?
On the legal side, they brought in Bawarnsak Uwano as Deputy PM for Legal Affairs. He was the president of the Constitution Drafting Committee back in 2015, a very respected legal mind. And for defense, General Nathapal Naktanich, former Secretary General of the National Security Council. He's been tapped partly to keep working on the Thai-Cambodian border issues, and Rudapul Noawarat as Minister of Justice, a former senior police official. His appointment is getting some scrutiny, though, given, well, controversies around some politicians.
Okay, so that's the technocrats the experts brought in. What about the yikes factor? The usual suspects, as some are calling them. The political quota side of the half and half.
Right. Because while they're aiming for this expert-driven image, the cabinet is also filled with traditional political appointees. And that raises the usual concerns, potential conflicts of interest, past baggage. This half-and-half approach, it's not just about PR, it really shows the tension, doesn't it, between needing technocratic credibility, fast, and the sort of inescapable reality of political deal-making in a coalition.
Patronage politics still rules, even when you need a clean image.
It seems deeply entrenched. Take Samanat Prampal from the Kla Tam Party. He's been made Deputy PM and Minister of Agriculture and Cooperatives. Now, putting him in charge of such a huge economic ministry, that's seen as a definite point of risk for Anutin. There's bound to be scrutiny over his controversial past and qualifications. Reports say Anutin was brave enough to wade through fire to approve that appointment.
Suggests it was a necessary political price, perhaps.
Perhaps, and he's not the only one. You've got other key political figures from the coalition partners dotted throughout the cabinet. Phiphat Ratchakitprakan and Sopan Saram, both from Bumjitai, are deputy PMs. Chai Chanak Chitchub, also BHT, gets the Digital Economy Ministry. Patana Prampat from Palang Prakarat is Deputy PM and Minister of Public Health. Trinak Thong, also Palang Prakarat, gets Labor. Suchart Trunklin, leading his own faction, is Deputy PM and Minister of Natural Resources and Environment. It's a coalition cabinet.
It really is a blend, isn't it? Seasoned professionals, right alongside political heavyweights, some with fairly significant baggage. It's a balancing act, trying to keep the public happy while keeping the coalition partners happy too. But that tension, as you said, seems baked in. So, given this shaky ground, this mixed cabinet, what are Anutin's actual priorities for this, maybe 6 to 8 month tenure? Yeah. Big reforms or quick visible wins?
Definitely quick wins. They know their time is limited, extremely limited. So the focus is squarely on immediate economic relief and things that can hopefully build public approval fast, their stated goals cover 4 broad areas. 1, economic problems, cutting costs, living expenses, energy prices, helping with debt, boosting income. 2, security problems, mainly resolving the Thai-Cambodian border stuff peacefully, compensating victims. 3, natural disasters, better warnings, prevention, relief, compensation. And 4, social problems, cracking down on drugs, human trafficking, scams, online gambling. Pretty standard stuff, but the emphasis is on speed.
Okay, so broad goals, but what are the specific key economic things they're rolling out? The things people will actually see and feel?
Right, the headline initiative is definitely the revival of the half-half scheme, or Con La Krueng. This was pretty popular under the previous Prayut government, a big economic stimulus. The plan is a 60.40 split for income taxpayers. Government pays 60%, you pay 40%, and a 50.50 split for everyone else. And crucially, they'll use the existing apps, Pao Tang and Tung Jern.
Ah, the digital wallet apps everyone already has from previous schemes. Smart. Makes it fast to implement.
Exactly. Familiar, quick rollout. They're aiming to start by October 2025, and they expect it to give the economy a decent jolt. Beyond that, they're planning other things too. Injecting cash quickly into local communities, about 12 billion baht for the Village and Urban Community Fund. Boosting tourism with measures probably similar to the old Rao Tu Dui Gan or We Travel Together scheme, just in time for high season. Offering soft, low-interest loans to farmers hit by low crop prices.
And what about those cost of living pressures? Electricity, transport?
Yes, tackling those head-on. They want to get electricity prices below 3.94 baht per unit. The new energy minister, Adiful Rukpaibun, that expert from PTT, has been tasked with figuring out how, and for electric train fares in Bangkok. They're ditching the idea of a simple 20 baht flat fare. Apparently that would need an 8-9 billion baht annual subsidy, deemed unsustainable. Instead, they plan to use something called the Joint Ticket Act. This basically provides a legal way to get different transport operators to integrate their systems and pricing. The goal is to negotiate with the concessionaires, aim for maybe a 30-40% fare reduction overall, and get rid of those annoying redundant initial entry fees when you switch lines. That alone could save commuters maybe 35-40 baht per trip.
That would be genuinely noticeable for people. But what about longer-term projects? Are they just kicking those down the road?
Well, intriguingly, no. Despite the short time frame, the massive land bridge project is still apparently on the agenda. We're talking nearly 1 trillion baht, 997.68 billion to connect Chunfan on the Gulf Coast with Ranong on the Andaman coast. It's controversial, though. Huge environmental concerns impacts in forests, wildlife sanctuaries, wetlands, and there are worries it might mainly benefit foreign investors with land rights and access to restricted businesses. Public engagement on it has been notably low, too.
Pushing ahead with a 1 trillion baht mega project in what might be an 8-month government. That's ambitious. Or maybe politically symbolic.
It could be. It definitely raises that question you hinted at earlier. Can these quick wins, however helpful in the short term, really make a dent in Thailand's deeper economic challenges? You know, we're facing global headwinds like U.S. import tariffs hitting Thai goods nearly 19%, and that really high household debt, still around 85-87% of GDP. Are these initiatives enough to genuinely shift the needle, or are they more like, well, a temporary boost? The private sector seems cautiously hopeful. They're forecasting maybe 2.5% GDP growth by year-end, mostly pinning hopes on this government spending and the consumption boost from these schemes.
A fair question. It's always about balancing the short-term relief with long-term structural stuff, isn't it? Okay, beyond the policies in the cabinet mix, let's talk about Anutin himself for a moment.
Yeah.
He's often called Mr. New, sometimes the cannabis king. How is he actually perceived by the public? And what are the biggest, maybe personal challenges for him leading this government?
Yeah, his past roles definitely cast a long shadow, you know. The cannabis legalization, hugely divisive. Celebrated by some, heavily criticized by others, that's stuck to him. And his time as health minister during COVID-19? Well, his self-assessment was, let's say, generous and A+, or 8-9 out of 10. That didn't always align with public feeling, especially around vaccine procurement criticisms. That's part of his image, too. And then there are older issues that linger as gray areas. Things like the Calcredom land dispute, involving allegations of illegal land encroachment by family businesses. Plus, whispers or allegations about corruption or kickbacks in the past. These are things he'll likely need to navigate carefully.
So, a mixed bag of perceptions there. What about this moo factor I've heard about, the superstition angle?
Ah, yes, the moo factor. It's a Thai term, basically referring to a strong belief in feng shui, auspicious rituals, that sort of thing. Anutin is known for this. When he moved into Government House, reports say he brought back specific furniture used by former PM Prayut Chan-o-cha, like a desk specifically positioned to face east, which was different from how the previous PM, Shritha, had it facing north. And he apparently had the Naresuan statue reinstated to its original spot at Phitsanulok Mansion, the PM's official residence. These actions, they signal his adherence to these beliefs, these protective customs. It's another layer to his public persona, certainly.
Interesting. So policy, personality, past controversies, even feng shui, it all feeds into the narrative. How's the government doing overall right now? Is the honeymoon period still on?
I'd say it's definitely still in a honeymoon period, yes. The initial reaction to getting those high-profile technocrats on board was largely positive, a definite wow. But bringing in some of the more controversial political figures definitely triggered some yikes reactions too. The real test, though, isn't now. It's coming. It'll be how they actually implement these quick win policies. Do they work? Do they feel fair? And, maybe more importantly, how do they handle the inevitable crises that crop up? Every government faces them.
And this is first time really in the driving seat, isn't it, as PM, not deputy PM?
Exactly. His first time as the pilot, not the co-pilot. And for him and for Bhumjatai's sort of spiritual leader, Nuin Chitchub, there's a bigger game here. They have ambitions for BHT to become a truly national party, to shed that image of just being strong in certain regions, their traditional house. So these next, let's say, 4 to 8 months, they're absolutely crucial. It's Bhumjatai's chance to prove they can govern effectively at the national level, that they're more than just local politics. Their ability to genuinely recover the economy, maybe reimagine some new directions, rebalance inequalities, perhaps even touch on reform, that's what will define Anutin's legacy from this short, intense period.
So we've really taken a deep dive today into the Anutin cabinet. It's quite a story. You've got this unique, inherently unstable setup, a minority government tied to that strict 4-month MOA for dissolution and a referendum. Then there's the cabinet itself, this intriguing half-and-half blend, some real wow appointments technocrats brought in to build confidence, but also some definite political yikes figures, the necessary compromises perhaps. And their strategy, focus on ambitious, quick-win economic policies. The half-half scheme revival, lower transport costs, things people will hopefully feel quickly. It's clear, isn't it? This government is operating under a microscope, under intense scrutiny, and with very, very limited time. But the real challenge, as you said, might be less about the policies themselves and more about navigating that constant political instability and actually proving they can deliver tangible results that connect with the public, not just make headlines.
Absolutely. And whether this government, in the end, evokes more of a wow for maybe surprising efficiency or unexpected achievements, or more of a yikes because of the political hurdles and maybe unaddressed controversies, well, that really remains to be seen, doesn't it? The impact of this short, unusual tenure on Thailand's economy, on its political direction, it's something that's going to unfold very quickly. We'll all be watching closely.
We certainly will. We've laid out the facts as we see them, the key players, the potential twists and turns. So, the final thought for you, our listeners. Can a government born from such complex temporary political deals actually govern effectively? Or is its very existence just another chapter in the intricate ongoing dance of Thai politics? Keep your eyes on those quick wins, the economic numbers, and definitely keep watching the evolving political chess game. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join us again for another great analysis. Thank you.